Okay, the Sega Brat isn't here right now. That gives me time to tell you about one of the best Castlevania games ever made. Super Castlevania IV for Super Nintendo. Super Castlevania IV is an action platforming game developed and published by Konami. It was published to the Super Nintendo console and released in North America on December 1991. You play as Simon Belmont, who is tasked with the objective of defeating Count Dracula, who has returned once again to rain terror on the masses. Excuse me, kind sir, but did you just say that Super Castlevania IV is one of the best Castlevania games ever made? Not you again. If God wanted you to enjoy your Nintendo games, he would not have created me. Well, the joke's on you, Sega Brat, because today I have Super Castlevania IV to showcase for Nintendo. What could Sega possibly have that can match such a spectacle of platforming gaming? Castlevania Bloodlines. What? Castlevania Bloodlines is a superior game to Super Castlevania IV and came out on the superior console Sega Genesis in North America on March 17, 1994. And instead of just one lame character to play, you have two, already making it twice as good as Super Castlevania. Oh please, the second character doesn't even have the whip. Neither did Carrie from Castlevania 64. We don't talk about that. You know what? I'm feeling lucky. I'm gonna let you go first and explain why Super Castlevania IV is a better game. Why thank you, Sega Brat. You do have manners after all. Nintendo says what? What? The first thing that has to be mentioned is Belmont's signature weapon, the whip. This time it can go in 8, I say 8 different directions. With the D-pad you can go from up, top right, bottom right, directly underneath, bottom left, and top left. Something that hasn't been repeated in a Castlevania game since, thus giving you a new dynamic in how to play and defeat enemies that no other Castlevania game has ever done, or will do again. You also have the beautiful graphics and level design. Nothing says Castlevania like scary imagery and suspenseful music, all of which Super Castlevania has. The enemies are very entrancing, and you have the secondary projectile weapons that are great as always. Now I do have to confess that a downside to the game is the jumping mechanic. It's so awkward and slow that sometimes you don't know if you're going to make the jump. But that's a fair price to pay for all the things you can do in this game. Have I mentioned the whip yet? Yes, you mentioned the blasted whip. Now it's my turn. For starter, Castlevania Bloodlines doesn't need to have the whip going 8 different directions to be good. It's just good. With exciting level design, superior graphics, artwork, character design, and a good responsive control scheme. For instance, the jumping mechanic is not artwork and you don't have to wonder if you'll make a jump. Unlike Super Lame Fania, Bloodlines offer a chance to change the difficulty to fit your style of play, giving you an easy and a normal mode. You also have more story and a map of the area to let you know where you are. And if you really need to swing in different directions, there's a second playable character. Eric can swing his spear in 6 directions, giving you that edge that you don't immediately have with Sean. So even though it isn't on the Super Nintendo, it can still compete with the supposed greatest Castlevania game of all time. Oh sure, they did have to give you an easy mode because we all know Sega players are filthy casuals. Super Castlevania separated the men from the boys and baptized you in fire. If you beat it, you were worthy of praise in the gaming world and were considered one of the best gamers of that era. Super Castlevania is boring. Bloodlines is way more exciting and get to the boss fights quickly to show you how awesome they are. With 2 characters gives the game a replay side that Super just lacks. Each with different weapons. I mean, eventually you would see the benefit in adding another character because you would do it on the Nintendo 64. Super Castlevania IV doesn't need a second character. Who would want to play as anyone else other than Simon Belmont? With the ability to swing the whip in 8 directions, which does matter. Sure, you have the spear, but why couldn't you do the same thing with Sean's whip? Bloodlines came out 3 whole years after Super, and yet it's back to a basic whip dynamic that Super shames. Granted, Bloodline isn't the only port Super Castlevania game to do this. Even some of my future titles committed this sin. But there's a reason that Super is considered one of, if not the greatest Castlevania game in existence. Bloodlines is the better Castlevania. Super Castlevania 4. Bloodlines. Super Castlevania 4. Bloodlines. Bloodlines. Super Castlevania 4. Aha! Dang it. This argument is fruitless and will never agree. I say we let the fans decide. I agree. The fans will side with me. We'll see, won't we? Do you agree with me and think Super Castlevania 4 is the best Castlevania game? Or do you think the Sega Brat is correct and Bloodlines is superior? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, I'm the Nintendo guy. And I'm the Sega Brat. Goodbye. Farewell.